What would you do if your own sibling, whom you'd supported endlessly, betrayed your trust in the most egregious way, forcing you to make an impossible choice? In today's story, the protagonist's decision is a masterclass in setting boundaries and demanding accountability. My name is Amelia, a 25-year-old woman navigating the complexities of adult life. My brother, Leo, who is 22, had been living with me since he moved out of our parents' home. The reasons for his move aren't important, but I had gone above and beyond for him. I housed him when he was essentially homeless, helped him secure a job, and even gave him rides whenever he needed them. I truly bent over backwards for my baby brother, hoping to see him stand on his own 2 feet. One evening, I returned home to a chaotic scene. Leo and his buddies were in my living room, completely wasted. I was furious. He never bothered to ask if he could have people over, always retorting with, "I'm an adult, Amelia, I can do what I want." But this wasn't just any party, it was a bullet-dodged celebration. Leo had been seeing a girl, Sarah, for a while. That day, she had texted him, revealing she was pregnant and planning an abortion. She asked him for financial help with the procedure. His response? He blocked her. I was absolutely horrified. Apparently, Leo and his brilliant friends had concocted a theory that Sarah had lied about being on birth control, because, according to their profound medical knowledge, it's impossible for women to get pregnant if they're on the pill. The sheer ignorance was astounding. I was livid. My disgust wasn't just about their appalling lack of understanding regarding birth control and safe sex, but the gut-wrenching fact that he would abandon a girl, leaving her to deal with a problem he was at least 50% responsible for. This reveals Leo's greatest fatal flaw, his profound irresponsibility and utter disregard for others, which would ultimately seal his fate. "Pack your shit and get the F***ck out," I told him, my voice trembling with a mixture of rage and disappointment. While this incident was my breaking point, it was the culmination of many previous frustrations. To see him turn out like that after all my efforts? Nope, just nope. Leo and his friends just stood there, seemingly not believing I was serious. "All of you, get the F***ck out. I don't want to see any of you here again," I repeated, my voice now steely and unwavering. Here's where some might say I went too far. I told him in no uncertain terms that he needed to collect his belongings and leave. If he was old enough to make big boy decisions, he was old enough to find his own place. He straight up refused. That's when I completely lost my temper. I lunged forward, grabbing handfuls of his clothes, his video games, anything I could lay my hands on. With a furious energy, I crammed it all into a suitcase, the seams groaning under the strain. I then marched to the front door, heaved the suitcase open, and practically threw it onto the porch, a clear and decisive act of expulsion. "If you don't leave, I will call the police," I shouted, my voice echoing through the sudden silence of the house. The scene devolved into tears and desperate begging from Leo, but I stood my ground, unyielding. Eventually, he was out. That night, my phone buzzed incessantly with messages, many from family members, condemning me as heartless for making him homeless. Their arguments were infuriatingly predictable. The pregnancy wasn't his fault because it was an accident. They weren't a serious couple, so he had no reason to help her. Sarah should have been more careful. I called absolute bullshit on all of it. I declared that I would never allow someone with such a sick mindset to live under my roof. "He is not my brother," I stated, the words final and heavy with meaning, "and I want nothing to do with him." My parents, aunts, and some cousins supported my decision. However, about 3/4 of my family turned against me. They believed I should support him because he's my brother, that I should have given him more time, despite him not being on the lease and frequently failing to pay rent, as he was supposed to. They argued that the punishment simply didn't fit the crime. As cynical_manatee, a commenter, wisely put it, "The people who said this are bigger assholes than you, brother, honestly." And stronger than you know 5 chimed in with a stark truth: half of an abortion is hella cheaper than child support for 18 years. He's a dumbass to not support her. Total dumbass. I had to ask myself, am I the asshole for how I handled it? My main concern was how I acted, not their views on abortion or his responsibility. As Lady Cashier aptly summarized, "He left this girl to figure out shit on her own, so that's what he gets. He was living the good life with you to take care of him. Let him suffer and spend some time in a homeless shelter. Maybe he'll get a job and get his life together." This is his wake-up call to life. You can't be the scum of the earth and expect people not to call you out on it. In fact, I'm currently trying to track down Sarah, his old work colleague, to see if I can help her in any way. The lesson here is clear. True accountability means facing the consequences of your actions, no matter how uncomfortable. What would you have done in my situation?